here we are. We got the Dover-Sherborn Raiders kicking off to the Ashland Clockers.
Playoff football.
Division 6 South. Scrambling there.
Out to the 40-yard line.
Jake Latesso with a couple little moves there. They got some good field position to start off.
Received by Ashland's number 3.
Ashland special teams have been fantastic so far this year.
It looks like they're going to start Dom Cavanaugh at quarterback. We know they use two quarterbacks, either Dom Cavanaugh or Jackson Horning, and actually Jackson's coming in, so that could be
that's their trick.
That could be a trick play to start. I don't want to say too much with the Dover-Sherborn coaches right there. We don't want to.
That's true.
We don't want to give away all our secrets. But Jackson is going to handle the snap. I know they'll probably direct snap too. Hands off to Brody Asenko. He gets a couple of yards. So Brody's stepped in and taken a lot of action since Jake Maloney's injury a couple weeks ago.
On the carry for Ashland, number 23, Brody Asenko.
He's very sure-handed, and he doesn't often get negative yardage. He's always running downfield. Does a good job. It looks like they'll bring in Eddie Braganca. They've been using a lot more backs. They had Eddie Lopez in as well. Probably see him tonight, but
they're going with a little more variety, it seems, at the running back position.
20 seconds.
Yeah, I think they've had to get a little more creative with Merloni out. That's their first time out for Ashland.
Well, it seems to be working for them. They have a couple of different options, the faster, speedier backs and some more powerhouse backs as well.
Yeah, I call them Thunder and Lightning.
Yep.
Russell lined up wide, top of the screen. So Jackson tries to keep it and loses a yard on the play. Brings up 3rd down and 9.
3rd and 8 at the Ashland 42.
I think somebody missed a block in the backfield. So we have Brody Asenko lined up in the back there. Trips to the left.
Pass rush coming at Horning. Did a good job getting out of the first tackle, but was met with another defender there.
Yeah, nothing he could do. They scouted that one well, but a big loss. A nice start for the Dover-Sherborn defense.
The defense for Dover-Sherborn, number 66, Jake Bolotsky.
So they'll be punting from the 25-yard line. I believe that's Ben College back to take the punt. And it's a low squib kick. Picked up, and they're right there to tackle him. Nice tackle by McSweeney and Jalen Simpson.
Received by Dover-Sherborn's Matt Paolato.
And Matt Paolato with no gain.
Led by Michael McSweeney and Jalen Simpson.
So a 37-yard punt, 36-yard punt, loss of 1 yard. And Dover-Sherborn will take over at the 38. With 8:33 to go. Quarterback for Dover-Sherborn is Kirby Ryan. It's the coach's son. Oh, Iannarelli jumped off sides. Free play, but okay.
Dover-Sherborn rushed by number 46, Aiden Hirsch, but there's a flag on the field.
So that'll be offsides. It's going to be 5 yards, and it'll still be first down.
He announced that it will be a
Penalty on
first down.
Ashland offsides. First down for Dover-Sherborn.
And that's got to frustrate Coach McKay. If there's one thing that frustrates and angers a coach, it's the penalties. So there's a lot of adrenaline flowing, so I don't know if he got fooled by the snap count or something, but can't keep doing that. Ryan Kirby takes the snap, he looks to throw, and it's just out, just over the outstretched hands of
Pass incomplete.
number
Intended
28
receiver,
for Dover-Sherborn.
Grady Russo, 2nd and 10 for the Raiders.
Grady Russo. Grady Russo shows on the roster as a freshman. This Dover-Sherborn team at the end of last year only had 22 players in uniform. And they were 4-7, but they're up to 38. Did a lot of recruiting in the offseason. So it's not the same team that Ashland faced last year when they lost 10-6. We'll see what they can do, but this is a big revenge game for Ashland. That loss to Dover-Sherborn wasn't expected last year as Kirby pitches out to, I believe, Palato, who gets enough for the first down. Dom Kavanaugh and Jake
Carried
Maryland
by
on the
Raiders,
tackle.
Number 3, Matt Palato. First down for the Raiders.
That gets him just over midfield.
On the tackle for the Clockers, Dom Kavanaugh.
This team, Dover-Sherborn, likes to run an offense, use a man in motion often. They haven't done that tonight, and they like to throw a lot of passes to the flat. This is not what they saw in the game film. Ooh, almost missing under the snap. And that was wrapped up nicely by Kavanaugh. Drops
Got
him
him.
for a loss.
Raiders carried
Yeah,
by Matt
1 yard
Palato.
short.
Tackle by the Clockers, Dom Kavanaugh.
All right, we'll see if that gets them fired up a little bit.
2nd and 11 at the 50-yard line.
Those Ashland linebackers are coming up real close on the Dover-Sherborn wide receivers.
There's their pass to the flat.
Ashland was ready for it. Just need to wrap them up.
Merrill came in to help on the tackle, the first stop. And there's a flag there. Might be Latessa for a personal foul or unsportsmanlike conduct, I'm not sure.
Raider reception by
Dover-Sherborn
number 4,
side
Timothy
is clapping, so
Cole. Leading the tackles, Clocker, Dom Kavanaugh.
yeah, it's against Jake Latessa. I don't know if he grabbed a face mask or a personal foul. So, just like that, it's first
Penalty on
down.
the Clockers, a personal foul.
A little overzealous. I've said it before, Latessa's one of my favorites, so
Ball
it
spotted
stings.
at the
It
Ashland
stings when he
29-yard
takes a big
line.
penalty like that.
Raiders
That's a bad
first
one
and
for the
10.
Clockers for
Yeah.
sure. Brings
No.
Dover-Sherborn all the way up to the 29, it looks like.
Yeah. And they read the play well. They read the play well. The guy made the first contact. Merrill came in to wrap him up. Here's their motion play. That might be Luke Fielding. Nope, that's number 4.
Timothy Polk on the carry for the Raiders.
Tim Pope.
In on the tackle,
It's a
Andrew
good tackle by
Iannarelli.
Ashland for a loss of 2, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. It's a much easier game when you don't have penalties against you. just under 6 minutes to play. First quarter, Division 6 South
Second
playoff
ball for the
action.
Raiders at the Clocker 29-yard line.
The 4-3 Dover-Sherborn Raiders against your 6-1 Ashland Clockers. There's some pressure. Throws to the flat to Fielding. He picks up about 5 yards.
Raider reception made by number 8, Luke Fielding.
And you will see that play
In
often
on the tackle
tonight.
for the Clockers, number 54, Dom Massaro.
And Dom Massaro with the tackle. And you'll hear his name probably a few times. Dom is having a good season. Playing very well for the defense. So Luke Fielding lined up here to the right. They like to go to him. Kirby looks that way, throws the other way, way over his head. And good pressure there by the Ashland Clockers. Both Brady Asenko and McSweeney.
Brady Russo.
Good pressure. Made him throw it away.
That'll bring up 4th and 6.
That brings up 4th down. 4th and 6th. They can't punt. It's just a little further. Actually, this guy's got a good leg, but 42 yards is a little bit long. And they'll go for it. Poke in motion. Kirby scrambles and just over his hands of Poke. And the Clockers hold.
Take over on downs.
Timothy Pope. Ball is turned over on downs. Clocker ball.
So the Clockers will take over after a somewhat shaky first set of downs on defense. They'll take over with 4:42 in the first quarter.
Clockers take over
Score
1st and
0-0.
at their own 25.
Let's see if they can go the 75 yards.
They struggled a little bit early here,
Yeah,
but I think,
they were net negative yards.
well,
We have Kavanaugh in. We'll
there's room
see. He's looking to throw. Oh, beautiful
off
pass.
the hands.
And he had Russell. And I was just talking with
Pass is incomplete. Intended receiver.
with
Clockers,
Jake Silver
number 6,
today
Kevin Russell.
about how Russell has been a dominant force over the last few games. Well, not including Holliston, because nobody was a force against Holliston.
Well,
But
Holliston has been way too good for way too long.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little bit like the Patriots around here.
Right. It was like they were playing the Patriots the way that the game. They actually played better than the 28-0 first half showed. I was there. And they were in it for a while as Kavanaugh keeps it. And he gains about 5 or 6. He's a hard runner. I would not want to be
Clockers, number
tackling
7,
him.
Don Cavanaugh with the keeper.
No.
I think Holliston is
5-yard gain. Ball
5
spotted at the
playoff.
Ashland 30-yard line.
And the Tri-Valley is well represented in the playoffs, especially in Division 6, where the Clockers coming from the large, but there's 3 Tri-Valley South. Dover-Sherborn, Medway, and Dedham. Kavanaugh back to pass to Latessa, and he just comes up a couple yards short. Nice tackle by the defense. Number 9, Noah
Pass complete to
Canty.
Clockers number 3, Jake Latessa.
they'll
Tackle
have
made
to
by
punt.
Raiders number 9, Noah Canty. That'll bring up 4th down for the Clockers. Ball at the Clocker 38-yard line.
And it's a high punt, not too deep, end over end, and he fair catches it at the 40. Matt Pellata.
Received by the Raiders number 3, Matt Paolato. Ball spotted at the Raider 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, take some time
It's a
now
nice
to pick up your
chilly
1950 tickets.
night here.
We'll
It
have
is.
the drawing at
I dressed
halftime here,
appropriately. I
and
was
all
I was
proceeds,
digging
of
out the
course,
winter
benefit the Ashland
clothes I
football
have.
program.
Well, you don't want to know what I'm wearing. But anyways,
I know I handed our cameraman right now, Cameron Tabo, a pair of gloves.
I have an extra pair of gloves when they're needed. All right, so Dover-Sherborn on their 40. First and 10, 3:12 to play, no score. And he throws a long pass and was intended for Polk, but he looked the wrong way.
Yeah, I don't think either Poe nor the
got
Ashland
a-
defender saw the ball.
There's a flag on the play, and it
Incomplete
looks
pass
like
by the
holding.
Raiders, intended receiver number 4, Timothy Polk. Flag on the field.
I'm guessing it's holding. I thought. Yeah, I think it was on their right side. I think somebody held Eddie
Penalty is
Braganca, who
holding
was
called on the Raiders.
coming in quickly.
Ball moves back to the Raider 30-yard line. First and 20.
Might have been their right tackle.
I think it was. And that's Ashland's best play of the night, plus 10 yards for them so far. But after that shaky start, the penalty, it looks like they've settled in. And their defense has been strong all year.
And again, they're playing nice and close, not allowing any of those passes into the flat that Dover-Sherborn likes.
And that's their play. And that's the key. They have to make that first tackle. If that guy, that was Luke Fielding, and I
Pass complete
don't
to
know who
number
was
8
in on the,
Raiders,
it
Luke
might have been
Fielding. Tackle
Jake
made by
Merrill.
number 4, Jack Merrill.
Jack Merrill, excuse me. Yeah, that's the key to that type of play.
It's a 5-yard gain. Second
You
and
have
15
to make
for the
that
Raiders at
tackle.
their own 35.
If he gets by him, he's got another, he's had an open field if he gets by him, so that was really a big tackle by Jack. We are second and 15. Polk in motion, and they're going to do an option play. And falls incomplete, intended for Luke Fielding.
Incomplete pass intended receiver for the Raiders, number 18, John Bennett. That'll bring up
Good
third and
idea,
15
bad
for the
execution
Raiders.
is what that
Yeah.
seemed like for Dover-Sherborn. But
That-
great defense there by Ashland, reading it all the way through.
Yeah, there were a lot of blue. I mean, it would have been a hard pass for the quarterback standing still, let alone a running back who's on the move. So, but it was well defended. That brings up third down and 15 with 2:19 to play. They're spread out. With a shotgun, he steps back to pass, lets it go, and intended, ooh, and a little bit of a shove right there.
Pass incomplete. Intended receiver for the Raiders, number 3, Matt Palato.
And pass falls short, just a little bit behind Palato. And Clocker's fortunate the extra shove didn't get called. And back to punt, Dover-Sherborn. And it's number 49, Dover-Sherborn. That is Henry Murphy. And Nate Sickles lets it go, and it rolls forward a few more yards to the 39-yard line.
Raiders down the ball at the Clocker
Or I believe
34-yard line.
34, excuse me, and that's a net of
2
16,
minutes to
31
go in the
yards
first quarter,
on the
no
punt.
score.
Not terrible for Ashland.
pretty good punt and pretty good field position for Ashland.
And I personally have no problem with them letting it drop. I mean, it just seems like it's so difficult to catch the ball and bounce off your chest or whatever the case may be. So,
That can always
Not a
be an
big-
issue,
right.
especially with these Friday night lights.
And Eddie Lopez, fake to Eddie Lopez, and And Jackson Horning keeps it, gets 8 yards.
Great ball protection there. You could see him really holding on, making sure that thing was not coming out.
Tackle made by number 4, Timothy Holt.
The Clockers have, that's a good point. The Clockers as a whole this year, and I don't want to jinx anything, have not turned the ball over running. Maybe once, I don't know, but
I don't think I've seen any
it
fumbles
may be nothing. It may
nor
be zero.
fumbles lost.
Very sure-handed, and it's 2nd and short, and they throw it in the flat to Sickles.
Ashland using Dover-Sherborn's play against them.
And Ashland uses that one a lot too, but
Nathan
yeah,
Sickles
exactly.
for a Clocker first down.
Nice throw by Jackson. His first pass of the night, gains about 9 yards. It's good to see Sickles back in uniform. Took a big hit in the Holliston game early on in the 2nd quarter. And hurt his shoulder or his ribs or something. They didn't even call a penalty, but it's good to see him back in uniform. And we have 2 receivers lined up in the slot, College and Latessa, and it's
Looks like a QB keep.
It is.
That's
Right up
Jackson
the
Horner
middle.
with another keeper up the middle.
For 8
Brought
yards.
down by number 49, Henry Murphy of the Raiders. 2nd and 2 for the Clockers at the Raider 37-yard line.
And Ashland seems to be getting a little more innovative in their play calling as time goes on here.
Mm-hmm. I think they have the size advantage on the line. Lined up in the backfield, I think that's Eddie Lopez. And 2 receivers lined up right. And he throws this way to Latessa, tries to get the edge, and he's brought down hard by Pope. Little slow getting up.
Raiders Jake Latessa run out of bounds.
He's
by
hobbled a
number
little
4 on the
bit,
Raiders, Timothy
Latessa.
Holt.
Hurt his ankle there. It's a hard tackle. It was a fair tackle, but it was a hard tackle. And we don't really want to lose, well, we don't want to lose anybody, but hopefully it's just a little twinge. Hand off to Lopez, he gets the corner.
He is their speed.
He is, that's 14 yards on the pickup. And a
Clocker
first down.
Yeah.
That's the Clockers' Eddie Lopez with a big gain for a first down. Brought down by number 53, Martin Brolt. And that'll
Once
bring us to
Lopez
the end
caught
of the
that
first
edge,
quarter.
he was going. Nobody was stopping him.
He is quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's just take
And
a
that's
moment
the end
here
of the
to say a
first
quick
quarter.
Thank you to Dr. Osich and Orthopedics New England for keeping our student athletes safe.
So we're
and in the
scoreless.
game.
Scoreless. I think that's how you say it, scoreless.
Scoreless thus far. And I'd like to thank all the live viewers joining us on Facebook tonight. We are live.
And it's Todd Carter and
As we
myself,
take a moment
Rob
here between
Silver.
quarters, just a reminder to make sure to visit our
Here with
concession
our
stand located
wonderful
in the
WACA
back.
crew of cameramen
Great
today.
snacks and hot beverages there tonight
That
on a
consists
cold
of
night.
Cameron Tabo and Nick Cunningham.
And so we are live.
And I'd like to say hi to the Marks family. I was talking to our athletic director, Stephen Marks, before the game. Wanted to just give a shout out to his family who are all watching today.
There's a newborn in the household, right?
Yes, there
that's
is.
That's what I heard last week. And
Very exciting things going on in the household there.
so here we go. Start of the second quarter. Jackson pumps. He has the corners and just through the outstretched hands of
Pass
Ben
incomplete.
College.
Intended receiver, number 12, Ben College.
He's thrown a couple good
2nd and 10 for the
passes, and
Clockers.
can't really blame him there.
At the Raider 26.
And if you are viewing at home and you want to leave a comment or tell us you're there, we'll announce your name and say hello to all our good fans, friends. And he keeps it again, and he gets some good yardage, a nice fake there. Jackson Horning still going all the way down to the 8-yard line, a 17-yard scamper
Jackson
on the
Hornick
quarterback
with the keeper
keeper.
for a big gain and a first down.
Jackson Horning,
Down by
an
Raiders,
amazing
Matt
keeper right there,
Pialata.
and I think he juked out half the defense on that run.
It is 1st and goal on the 9-yard line. Hands off to Brody Asenko, who gets some good yardage down to the 4-yard line. Pick up a 5 for Brody. 2 hands all over the ball, like we said. And you noticed it too. They just they got
Hand off to number 23,
ball
Brody
handling.
Asenko.
I think we should say it a few more times than just I don't know.
No, but a great job there, and Asenko he's been fantastic so far this year in these short yardage situations.
Yes. And they have Brody Asenko lined up close to Kavanaugh under the snap, and he gives to Eddie Braganca.
Nice
And
hole for
Eddie
him.
Braganca, he's in for a touchdown.
Clocker touchdown scored by
Clocker
number 21,
strike
Eddie
first.
Braganza.
First points of the postseason.
Nice job by the offensive line there. That was quite a hole. I might have been able to score with that one.
Well, they definitely opened it up.
Had some good running. Agostinelli on for the kick. And Andre
Extra
keeps
point
his
by
streak
Andre
alive.
Agostinelli. Clockers
7-0.
take the lead, 7-0.
7-0, 9:36 to play. With the Clocker cheerleaders, they do their push-ups every time they score. We'll see what they do with the kickoff. Sometimes they do that pooch kick, which I can't stand, and it's almost a guaranteed 40-yard line.
Well, it looks like there was some confusion on the Clocker sideline. I believe Latessa is still getting treated, so I believe they had Asenko going in for this kick.
Who do you have back deep for? We have Matt Pialata lined up to your left, the top of the screen, and Luke Fielding, number 8, the bottom of the screen. Andre Agostinelli back to kick, and they go with the pooch. And quite effective this time.
Dover-Sherborn had some trouble handling that one.
Yeah, not a bad play. I like that. I like the pooch kick.
With the Raiders on the recovery of Fosa Amati.
Well, that's the key. If the player doesn't come up to field
Raiders
it,
1st and 10 from their own 25-yard
then
line.
they're caught in no man's land, and it's a live ball. I'm assuming that's what the coach is going after. But a lot of times it hasn't worked out that way. That time it did. 25-yard line. Kirby lined up under the center, pitches to Pialata, and right there to meet him is Dom Massaro.
A loss of 5 yards on the play for the Clockers.
That did not fool anyone.
Raiders rushed by number 3, Matt Paolato. Tackled by number 54 on the Clockers, Dom Massaro.
So the momentum continues on the Clocker side as they
15 for
lose
the Raiders at
5
their own
yards
20.
on that play.
Nine minutes left now in the first half of action here at Cunis Field.
Oh, and a nice tackle there. And this time it is Brody Asenko sneaking into the backfield.
Looked like it might have been a shoelace tackle.
Right.
Just got enough to trip him up.
Clocker
That's
tackle
all
by
they
number
needed.
23, Brody Asenko.
What is it now? 3rd and
The Raiders number
23.
15, Kirby
3rd and
Bryant, for a
23.
loss. 3rd and 19 at the Raider.
What do you think?
11-yard
Man
line.
up 3 deep?
So
You've heard of the man up 3 deep play?
I know that anything deep at this point is not a bad call, because if they haul one down the side, they could get an interference, could be intercepted, big deal. It's going to serve as good as a punt, you know, assuming the guy doesn't take it back. But if he just throws one up for like a Hail Mary type play, it's not a terrible call. And a lot of pressure, the middle screen to Poke.
Evades the first tackle.
That's fine. Good soft defense. Let him get his 11,
Pass
12
complete
yards.
to the Raiders
That's
number
fine.
4, Timothy Polk. There's a flag on the field.
And that could be a face mask. I don't know. Is it? And this is a disaster. Wow. That is devastating. So
Personal
15-yard
foul called on the
penalty.
Clockers. That'll make it a Raider 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line.
Ashland coach is very upset with that.
There's kind of a hush in the stands after that play. And see if they can come up big and energize them again. As Poke goes in motion, a high snap over his head, and Kirby has to fall on it.
Bad snap and ball recovered by the
So
Raiders.
that's a loss of
number 15, Kirby
13.
Ryan.
And we're back. Now it's 2nd and
Ball
23.
spotted at the Raider 25-yard line. Ladies and
Somewhat
gentlemen, be sure
helpful.
to stop by the Clocker Club store, open by the concessions. Pick up all your great
And
Clocker
I'd like to
fashion
say we
items.
have some really good attendance here at Cunis Field tonight, despite the fact that there's a Red Sox game on TV right now, World Series game.
This is more exciting.
So, yeah, way more
The
exciting.
Red Sox game will be on for another 5 hours after this one's over.
That's what I say. I can walk in during the 4th inning.
Right. Okay, you could fly out to California after this game and still make the last couple innings. Oh, and they were wide open, streaking down the field for a Poke from
Incomplete pass.
Kirby
intended
Ryan.
Receiver number 4, Timothy Polk.
And I think this is where the cold comes into play. We've seen a few
bring
catchable
up
passes
3rd and
just
25
off the
for the Raiders.
fingertips. One thing about those receiver gloves is they do not keep your hands warm whatsoever.
I'm a little concerned because Latesse is still limping, and I don't know if that's something they saw and were maybe going after that. But they had him beat. They had 2 guys that had the defense beat. Very fortunate that he just threw it a little past his outstretched hands. All right, so we are now 3rd and long. And there's some pressure there. Oh, it's picked off! Ryan Dwinells!
Dwinell's still going.
What a
Walker
turn
interception
of
by number
events.
69, Ryan Dwinells.
And you don't see that very often.
There's some more flags.
There's
I
a
don't know if
flag
it's
on
a
the
celebration. See what the call is, but it looked like it was well after the turnover. unsportsmanlike conduct against the defense and on the offense, offsetting. And it was after the interception, they must have got into it. And
They must have in that.
so, with that being said, the Clockers will take over, I believe, after a nice interception by Ryan Dwinells. He read that play and just he stopped his rush. And that's the play they ran on the previous long third down where they had the penalty at the end.
Offsetting penalties. 1st and 10 for the Clockers.
It's actually 1st and goal. So Ryan Dwinells with the deceiving speed and power just got it down. What did he break, about 3-4 tackles there?
Remember a few years ago, the Vince Wilfork pickoff?
Yeah.
That's what that looked like.
It was very
We
similar.
lived it.
Very similar. So here we are, 7-0. Clockers with great field position. Kavanaugh back to take the snap. Hands off to Latessa. And he goes down after a 1-yard gain.
He thought he had the corner, but defender was there to greet him.
Interesting play call when you have
Clockers, Jake
4
Latessa
healthy
on
running
the carry,
backs
brought down
and
by
you bring your
Raiders
receiver
16,
in with a
Jamie Worth.
gimpy ankle.
That'll bring up
Look at him.
2nd and
Yeah,
goal
he's still
for the Clockers.
struggling on the sideline there.
All right. Maybe they figured they'd
They
never
kept-
give it to him. Maybe that was the strategy behind that play.
Little deception.
Right, exactly.
They're not going to give it to that
Bring
guy.
the guy out on
He's
crutches.
He's not running.
So Kavanaugh keeps it. It's got a big hole. Gets down to about the 2-yard line.
That's been available for the Clockers
Kavanaugh,
all
the
night.
keeper, that'll bring up
Yes.
3rd and goal for the Clockers. Inside the 5, excuse me.
We are down to the
Raiders tackled
2-yard
by number
line.
53, Martin Brault.
I learned this clipboard rubber band trick from Paul Burke. I went and got a clipboard from my office today. The rubber bands keep the paper down. Kavanaugh throws out in the flat, and it's a touchdown to Brody Asenko.
Clogger touchdown by number 23, Brody Senko.
Senko trying to get the fans into this one.
Dom Kavanaugh.
They just left him totally wide open.
Could have walked in with some taking up some extra time on that clock.
Kavanaugh, great pass.
Nick is down.
Andre, Mr. Automatic.
Point after by Agostinelli is good. Clogger lead goes to 14-0. Just under 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Wow. And what could have been a disaster with that face mask or whatever foul at the end of 3rd and 23 ends up not hurting the Clockers. They buckle down. And it was the newly inducted National Honor Society, Ryan Dwinells, with the big play on that series with the interception. We had 4
Ladies
of
and gentlemen, just want
the
to take a moment here to offer our congratulations to
Clockers.
the Ashland volleyball team for earning a spot in their
4 of the
MIAA
junior
tournament.
Clockers inducted last night
Also,
to the
congratulations to
National Honor
sophomore Nick
Society.
Simpson, qualified
Colin
for the
Dagg,
MIAA golf
your
tournament.
kicker here, Andre Agostinelli, Ryan Dwinells, and Brandon Grover. So some nice representation. I know there's some seniors already in there, but I don't know who they are. So not only good athletes, but good, well-rounded people. Andre Agostinelli kicks it off, another squib. This one is picked up by Paolotta and brought down by Jalen Simpson. So the
Raiders
Clockers
returned by
are running
Matt
on
Pialotto,
all
tackled by the
cylinders now.
Clockers, Jalen Simpson. First
Nice.
and 10 for the Raiders.
So the Raiders take over down 14-0 with 4:46 to play. And they'll start from their own 24-yard line.
And as of right now, we have about 25, 26 viewers.
What's the max that the website handles before you have to get another server, Todd?
Well, this is all through
Kirby
Facebook.
Ryan rolls out to poke. And again, with that tackle, they missed the first tackle and got some good yardage, 14 yards.
Pass complete to the Raiders,
And
Timothy
Brody Asenko
Polk.
had to come in and wrap him
Tackle
up.
made by the Clockers, Brody
Got to match
Asenko.
speed with speed.
And that's what they go with. They like that
First
play.
and 10 for
And
the
if you
Raiders
can,
at their own 41-yard
like
line.
I said, make them miss that first tackle.
Well, obviously, as you can see tonight, they trust their wide receivers to break that first tackle and gain some extra yards on the play. So
Poke, and they hand it off to Poke. And a plethora of Ashland clockers in there, including Don
Raiders,
Massaro
Timothy
and
Polk on the carry.
Eddie Berganca, who's shaking his hand a little bit. Drew Iannarelli also in on the tackle.
Second down for the Raiders at their own 42.
24 viewers. And Don Massaro again. Luke Fielding with the carry and carries it for a loss. And Dom is
Carry
having
by the Raiders, Luke
quite a
Fielding.
game.
Lead tackle made by the Clockers, Don Massaro. Third down for the Raiders, still at their 41. Sorry.
It's third
Take
and
that third down
15.
at the 36.
ball's at the 36.
Been a lot
So
of
they gotta
big negative yardage plays by this defense. As long as they don't give up a big play. He rolls out. Kirby Ryan throws back, and they read that one. He's got to wrap him up. And Latessa does wrap him up. And Jack Merrill comes in to help out. And
Pass complete to the Raiders,
they weren't
number 3,
fooled.
Matt Fialato.
play just took too long to develop. And
Brought down by the Clockers, Jake
They were ready for
Latessa
it.
and Jack Merrill. That'll force
Yeah,
a
it's
fourth
hard
down for
in
the
a-
Raiders.
When you're going for a screen play like that, it's hard to throw to the quarterback's other side from where
We
they're
have a
running.
timeout on the field called
Right.
by the Clockers.
he's
We'll take this
moving
timeout
one
to
way,
congratulate
moving
our
another.
middle school athletic teams who finished
Move
up
one
their
way,
soccer,
throw the
field
other,
hockey,
and it's
cross-country
hard,
seasons.
especially off that
And
back
good luck
foot.
to our middle
He had to
school
float the
football team who
ball,
gets into their playoff
gave
game
Ashland
against
defenders
South
the
Haven
time
on Halloween.
But
to
it-
move up.
It was a heck of a tackle, though, by Latessa. Because if he misses him, and
Oh,
Jalen
man,
Simpson
close.
gets in there. And the punt, fair caught by Jackson
Horning
Horning
for the Clockers with a fair catch.
for 42.
Pretty good punt
First down for the
considering
Clockers
he
at
had a
their own
defender right in
42-yard
his
line.
face.
It seems like they're always right there, and
Clockers up 14 to
but
nothing.
it
with
doesn't
2.5
shake them.
minutes to go.
It's
in the
I
first
give
half.
them credit.
It is hard to be a punter or a kicker.
Yeah, because everything else is easy, but punting and kicking.
No.
No, I'm teasing. But yeah, it's
I mean, it's
a lot
the same
of, there's
with
a lot
being
of pressure.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, and people always expect them to just get it right every time.
Mm-hmm. And you can easily be hero to doghouse with that roll. Jackson keeps it, and no gain there. Clock is ticking, just under 2:20 to play.
Clockers, Jackson Hornig with the keeper. Second down for the Clockers at their own 42.
A little bit of clock management. They don't want to leave them too much time, but they also need to make sure they have enough time in case they get a good yardage here on second down. But with the never-ending amount of timeouts, it should be all right. So Latessa runs in the backfield and it's handed off to Brody Asenko, who gets some nice yardage.
Looks like Latessa in motion might have thrown off some of Dover-Sherborn's defense. They were getting
Clockers,
ready for
Brody
the pass
Asenko
in the
with
flat.
carry. Gets up to midfield.
some good play calling.
Tackle made by the
Last time he
Raiders
went in
53,
motion,
Martin
he
Brault.
handed it to him. This time he uses him as a decoy, and they pick up 8 yards. And he's passing in the flat, and that's a first down. Is that Russell?
Yeah, right around the
Pass complete to the
45.
Clockers' Kevin Russell for a first down.
And they'll use a timeout.
Minute 10 seconds left on the clock here.
Clockers
Perfect time
call
for it.
timeout. Hey folks, just a reminder, Ashland Winter Sports registration is underway. Please visit the Ashland Athletics website to sign up today.
That's Russell's first catch of the game. So there's a minute 10 remaining, and Clockers are up 14-0. Like I said, they've had some really good defensive performances if you take out the 48-point loss to Holliston, which I think we have to take it out. But they shut out Norwood. They gave up 7 points to Medfield, I believe, and their other 2 opponent, Hopkinton, was an 8-7 win. And 14-7 against one other team that they played. Well, here we go after the timeout.
Pass in the flat.
They had Dom Cap. Oh no, that was that Brandon? Brandon Grover with his first
Pass
action of the
complete to
night.
the Clockers, number 8, Brandon Grover for a first down.
The National Honor Society represented well here in the plays.
Yeah, that ceremony again happening just last night. It was covered by WACA-TV's very own Mackie Kotab, who we usually have here, but he's out at the Halloween parade, which is also happening tonight.
Oh.
All the little kids in their costumes.
There's some pressure. He keeps it, tucks it away, protect the ball. Okay, they took a loss of 1 yard. Just back to the line of
Jackson
scrimmage and a
Warnock under
timeout.
pressure rushes back to the original line of scrimmage.
No, I looked from outside.
Tackle made by the Raiders, number 71, Benjamin Hudson Walker.
Actually, that pass to I'm not sure if it was almost a lateral, the one to Grover, but we'll call it a pass.
I think the ball moved forward.
Clockers call timeout.
Just over 53 seconds left.
That might have been their last timeout. I'm not sure if they.
Just want to say a quick thank you to our wonderful
taken-
athletic trainer, Amy Mendoza, down on the field, making sure everyone is safe.
Shout out to Amy Mendoza, the athletic trainer.
She is basically the reason that Latessa is back in this game right now.
Yeah, some Mr. Miyagi stuff on his ankle or something.
Yeah. His ankle or his knee.
Whatever it was.
But seriously, she does a really good job.
You have seen
always
Karate Kid, right?
Yes,
I know
I have.
there's an age difference, but I just.
It's
I
not
didn't know how
that
much.
large. That's a classic.
Right, okay. I don't know if
Mr.
I don't know if
Miyagi.
my kids have seen it. Yeah, I think
People
I've
can't
made
watch
them
me,
watch
but
it.
you know,
Right.
I'll clap
There's
my
some
hands near the
pressure.
microphone.
And he scrambles away.
He's got the edge.
Throw it away.
Throws it.
Oh,
Almost caught.
right. And he almost made
Jackson
something out
Hornet
of nothing.
scrambles, but an incomplete pass to the Clockers, number 8, Brandon Grover.
And got to give credit
That'll bring up
to
third
the
down for the
offensive
Clockers.
line. A lot of times when they scramble, they tend to drift downfield, which is a penalty. But they all held their ground. And that brings up 3rd and 10 with 43 seconds to go. They need to get 10 yards because they need 11 actually. 3rd and 11. Because they need the first down to at least stop the clock. He keeps it, and he's got some room, and he's going,
Going.
down to the. He's still going. He's still going.
Sheds tacklers. Down to the 6.
And that was a gain
Jackson
of
Warnock up the middle of the
25-yard line,
long gain
25
and a
yards,
first down.
31
Tackle made
seconds,
by the
and the
Raiders number 36,
Clockers
Mitch
burned their
Reinhardt.
last timeout.
And we have a
And
timeout on
something-
the field called by the Clockers.
Something that's overlooked here is that play alone just took up 12 seconds from the clock. So a really good job by the Clockers with that play.
Ladies and gentlemen, while we have a
And
break
Jackson
in the action
Horning
here, just a
just
reminder,
keeping the
get out
legs
those
churning.
50 tickets. Make sure you locate them. We'll be having the
I
drawing
think
coming up here at
size-wise,
halftime.
it's a bigger team. It's a more experienced team, and they're just showing their expertise and their maturity. So now, I don't know if you have to pass. I mean, if he's called two plays, you could theoretically run it. I'm saying they're going to pass and then possibly spike it and then run a play on 3rd down. They're in field goal range too. And he throws it to the big guy, Kevin Russell, and it's picked off. And it is picked off.
Raider interception.
They've
by
gone
number
to that
4,
play a
Timothy
few
Polk.
times this year.
Kevin Russell is
It was
such
just
a large
little
target.
bit underthrown. Just a little bit underthrown. So a little deflating. And we'll see if Dover-Sherborn just takes a knee. It looks like they are in the...
Yep, they're in the formation. Knee is taken.
Okay, so we're going to go to the half with your Ashland Clockers leading 14-0. Are we? Do we televise the halftime festivities, Todd?
We will televise the halftime festivities.
Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for
Get
the
what's
first
down
half
on the
as the
field,
clock
but
ticks
you
down
and
to
I will
0.
take a break for now.
Clockers
We'll
leading
give
the
our
Raiders
cameraman
14-0.
a bit of a break.
I have to.
We'll
I have
be
to
back
stay. I have to
momentarily,
stay
your
on here
50-50
and what
drive.
the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
It's my daughter. Everybody, just so you know, my daughter's a cheerleader. In case.
Well,
But,
I'm giving you a break so you can cheer her on, you know?
this is-
Unless you want to cheer her on the headset.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I usually. I like to critique and play call. But before we go to, I wanted to just recognize the
Ladies and
Ashland.
gentlemen, please put your hands together for
Cheerleaders.
the Ashland High School cheerleading squad.
Because not only were we well represented in the football team in National Honor Society, 4 of the junior cheerleaders were also inducted last night. Captain Lizzie Dennis, co-captain Lizzie Dennis, my daughter Hallie Silver, also co-captain, and we have Marissa Drozek and Marissa Tang. Congratulations to the 4 Lady Clockers for their great accomplishment. And we also have the Tri-Valley cheerleading competition this Sunday. And I don't know if you can hear that at home.
Oh, it is plenty loud for the people at home.
I think the Guinness Book of World Record loudest concert ever, I think, was a Who concert. I remember this might have beat it. Too bad we didn't call Guinness in to verify. And that's the routine. I think they're a little short-handed, so they only had 2 jumpers or skiers or
Thank you. The
people
cheerleaders
going up
will
in
be
the air.
competing in the Tri-Valley League Championship this Sunday, October 28th at Bellingham High School.
I have a few statistics.
Oh.
First half stats. Passing game, Jackson Horning 3 of 5 for 23 yards and an interception. We had Kavanaugh, 3 of 4, and these, don't hold me to it, okay? These are as accurate as I can be. 3 of 4 for a net of 4 yards and 1 touchdown pass. Scoring for the Clockers, we had Fraganka with a 4-yard touchdown run, and Brodiasenko on the receiving end of a 2-yard touchdown pass.
Clockers will be kicking off here to start off the second half.
But Jackson Horning really made an impact. After the first two sacks, where he lost 15 yards, he then gained 58 yards on the ground. Very effective. You saw I almost got that score late in the half, and they threw the interception. But here we are, 14-0, start of the second half. Clockers will kick off from your right to left. Dover-Sherborn comes up to get the kick.
Fielded it at the 20, brought it out to about the 33-yard line, would you say?
Yeah.
Raiders of Fosa Amadi receives.
So a good about 13-yard return.
To the Raider 34-yard line. Tackle made by number 8 on the Clockers, Brandon Grover.
Seems very quiet for a playoff night. I don't know,
Yeah, it's a little cold out here tonight. I think everybody's kind of bundling up.
and just trying to.
I see some fans with blankets draped over them. They're out here in their warm pajamas.
Kirby Ryan dropped back to pass, pump fake, and he has Luke Fielding for a sizable gain, 15, 16, 17 yards there.
By number 18, John Bennett of the Raiders.
And taken down by Jackson Horning,
Flag on the play.
and a penalty, which I didn't see. Did you see that?
I did not. I was too focused. It looked like Horning's coming off here for a minute.
Yeah,
He might have been a little. He looks okay right now, but he looks like he might have gotten a little dinged up on the play.
yeah, when he made the tackle, just either landed on himself, twisted something. But regardless, the play will come back, fortunately for the Clockers, and be 1st and 20. So I'm assuming it was a holding penalty.
I think that's a correct assumption.
Yeah, just check the instant replay, it was holding. And a quick pass and a quick tackle. Brandon
Raiders,
Grover
Luke Fielding,
making his presence felt.
tackled by the Clockers number 8, Brandon
Clockers were ready for that one.
Second down
They
for
sniffed
the
that
Raiders.
out. I think before the ball was even snapped.
He's been getting some more playing time, and he's been doing a really good job on defense. So, Kirby Ryan wound up in the shotgun. Nobody in the backfield, and Brody gets through, and so does Sweeney, but he avoids the tackle, runs out of bounds, and that's quite a late tackle. They got to be careful.
Clockers Eddie Braganza leading the tackle.
Yeah,
there.
this has been a rough game for penalties. The refs are definitely calling them,
Third down for the
and
Raiders.
both teams have been giving them reason to.
I mean, he was 2-3 yards out of bounds.
Clockers a little lucky there.
Yeah, I think so. So it's 3rd and 16. And we've had 3rd and long a few times tonight. Whether it be the sacks by the Clocker defense, or penalties. But the Dover-Sherborn Raiders just can't get out of the hole.
No, they cannot.
We're going to have to make something happen. He's going for it all to Matt Paolata, and he never turned around, and there's
That's
the
gonna be a
flag.
flag.
Pass incomplete, but a flag on the play.
And that could be, is that Brandon Grover?
Looks like
Unfortunate, he never turned around. I'm surprised teams don't do that more often, because the defender is usually watching the receiver, and if you underthrow the ball, all the receiver has to do is stop, and the defender's going to run into him or try and come back to the ball. So,
yeah, as long as the receiver's trying to come back to the ball, they're going to call that penalty every time.
yeah.
Luckily for the Clockers, they're only giving them
They get 15 yards for the interference. It's not a spot penalty like in the NFL. But they were playing too tight on a third down play, third and long. And he's got him beat again. And it's Grover and Tapelata.
just through the hands.
Incomplete pass, intended receiver number 3, Matt Paolato.
Hey, it worked once. Why not try it again?
For the Clockers, number 8, Brandon Grover. Second down for the Raiders.
Coverage was a little better, but getting back to that third and long, not to harp on it, but it's third and long, you can play a little softer. You don't have to let the defender get behind you 5 yards into the route. Anyways, 2nd and 10. And Paolato's lined up at the top of the screen this time. Kirby Ryan with a hard snap under pressure, and he is crushed.
Flag on the play, though. Let's see what this is.
Sack led by
It
number
was holding.
75,
It's
Andrew
okay.
Iannarelli, but a flag on the play.
So there are 3 clockers in there quickly,
Holding
despite the
penalty
hold.
called on the Raiders, but declined.
Drew Iannarelli
That'll
in
bring
on the
up third down
tackle
for the
with
Raiders.
Brody Asenko. And that pushes him back to the 34-yard line. And
Well, we've seen them convert some of these on penalties and other things. So the Clockers just need to play safe defense. They need to play smart
so
defense.
I'm just
here.
trying to figure out, because the marker says 2nd down. The scoreboard says 3rd down. I thought it was 3rd down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Clockers did not accept that penalty.
Right, it was a loss, so it should be 3rd and
Yeah,
18.
it is 3rd and 18.
And he's
because
got
the
to wrap
clock is
him up. Luke Fielding and Brody Asenko comes from back out of the play to make a big tackle.
Pass complete to the Raiders, Luke Fielding, tackled by Brody Asenko.
So again, I'm a little confused, and the refs haven't. Looks like they're going to talk about it, because I think it is 4th down. It is 4th down. They're yelling over to the linesman. 4th and 7. And now they're going to have a little conference about it.
I think they're really just discussing where they're going to eat after the game.
And
Doesn't
had it
take.
been
There's not
earlier,
much discussion.
they could have gone to Marathon Deli, which is always a good choice, but it's not open at this time of night.
I know. Oh, on my way over here, we had a later setup time. We don't have our big portable studio out tonight. We're simplifying our setup.
And it is 4th down, so they're going to bring on the punting unit, 4th and 8 on the
But the
49-yard line.
The reason I say that is I had to go out tonight, and I wanted to go there, but ended up with Chinese food. It's still waiting for me downstairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fair catch
And Jackson
by
Horning.
number 13,
Nathan Sickles came up to make the catch.
First down, Clockers.
Only a 17-yard punt. So the Clockers will see their first action. With 7:40 to play, leading 14-0. And they were moving the ball well before that little miscue at the end of the first half. We'll see if they can keep it up.
That's good for the Clockers, though. A lot of time eaten up, but no points on the board for Dover-Sherborn.
Yeah.
Ashland with a chance to increase its lead here.
Jackson Horning with Eddie Lopez in the backfield, and Eddie gets it, cuts inside, and he's gone.
He's
gone to
going.
the outside, and nobody's going to catch him. Nobody's going to catch him.
He is gone.
Lightning.
Walker touchdown scoreline.
Eddie Lightning Lopez.
What was that, about a 64-yarder?
65 yards.
65 yards. Some great blocking up front by the lineman.
Yeah, he cut right inside, cut back out to. Oh. I mean, that's how I would have done it. And the extra point is good. And your Ashland Clockers now lead 21 to nothing with 7:29 to play in the third quarter.
Now, is Eddie Lopez a junior?
Eddie Lopez is a sophomore.
He's a sophomore. So I think in some future years, you might want to look at him as a potential premier back. He's showing some early flashes here with the Clockers.
He is fast. He's fast. Shout out to Jake Silver on the sidelines. He's a big Eddie Lopez fan.
He's a big Clocker fan.
Absolutely. Looks like he's 2 missed calls. Why is Jake calling me? Anyways. Oh.
That
was a hard tackle. It was a clean tackle. It was just hard.
He looks like he ran into a brick wall.
I think he would have been better off running into a brick wall. It's a freshman. And if you look at the roster, they have several freshmen.
Which makes it amazing for the Dover-Sherborn Raiders that they're in the playoffs, and that means I think they definitely have room to improve, and
yeah,
that team may be good for a very long time.
And I saw the name up here, Noah Canty. He's a junior, but he was been out of action, injured for 2 years. His younger brother is also on the roster. And a pump fake there, throws to the flat, and takes it out of bounds. That was Drew Dummer.
Pass incomplete, intended receiver for the Raiders, Drew Dummer.
And
it looked like it might have been incomplete, but I think they're going to rule him inbounds, and that he just stepped out. Couldn't keep his footing.
Yes. And that's
correction, that was a reception.
Kirby Ryan going over and having a quick discussion with his dad, the coach, Steve Ryan. Let's see what they have for a play call here. Poke with a direct snap to Paolata, and that fooled the defense. That was a 18, 19-yard run there. Little misdirection.
Tackle made by the Clockers, number 54, Dom Massaro.
I think this is only the third time all game that Dover-Sherborn has been over on the Ashland side of the field.
Actually, fourth, because when they walked to the locker room, they actually had to go. No, you're correct. The side of that first drive, and he throws it deep, and it looks like it is incomplete. It was a nicely thrown ball. Jack Merrill on the coverage, and Matt Paolata just couldn't hang on.
I think it looked like Jack Merrill may have been trying to push the ball out as they were falling to the ground and might have just kind of gotten it, hooked it enough to really pop it out.
For the Raiders.
Just
Clocker 42.
never give up. You have good eyes. Or are you just making that up?
No, I saw him. I saw him like swatting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. When we watch the replay and the final game film, we'll zoom in on that maybe. Can you zoom in on this stuff? How technical can we get? Oh, there he is to
We could
Luke
try.
Fielding. Nice block. There's some good yardage there. And that's the play they like to run. They had an extra blocker in there.
The Raiders, Luke Fielding. On the tackle, 23 of the Clockers, Brody Asenko.
So the Dover-Sherborn offense is mixing it up a little bit here and getting some good yardage. 3rd and 3. We have Drew Dummer lined up at the top of the screen. Matt Paolotta in the backfield. Kirby Ryan under the center.
watch the blitz here from
Polk
the Clockers.
in motion, and they use Polk as a blocker. And Paolotta forges ahead for a first down.
Raiders run by number 3,
Pickup
Matt
of about
Paolotta.
5.
It's good enough for a Raider first down at the Clocker 31-yard line.
Dover-Sherborn's missing their big senior tonight, Jamie Worth, or he's playing limited action. I was talking with one of the scouting coaches. He's their go-to guy. Every piece of game film he was in on the play, and he's really not being used much. He's wearing a brace and just a little hobble. There's that play again, and the deep pass to Drew Dummer.
And I would have been surprised if he even caught that. That definitely would have had to be OPI, because that was a push off if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, he did extend the arm. I was surprised no, I'm glad they didn't call it. They don't have to call it.
No, they don't have to call it if it's the ball wasn't caught. If it was caught, I would have expected the call, but
yep, he definitely extended the arm. It's now 2nd and 10. He's been pretty accurate with the passes. That was there. And he's a junior, this quarterback, Kirby. He's got another year.
Good interior blitz.
And he goes deep again. And just underthrown in the coverage there. Jack Merrill, they're targeting Merrill.
Incomplete.
But he was
coming
step
up.
for step, though.
Exactly. He would have had to throw it another couple of yards.
Broken up by the Clockers' Jack Merrill. That'll bring up 3rd and 10 at the Raider
And I
31.
think that ball may have been just a tad underthrown because the quarterback was under pressure. A really good interior blitz there by the Clockers.
I think that was McSweeney with the pressure, and that made him hurry it up. And I agree with you. He did underthrow it a little bit. Fakes the handoff and rolls off right, and he throws, and it's intercepted. There was there was no Dover-Sherborn play and a penalty
Number 7, Dom Cavanaugh.
for a late hit there. That's a frustration foul. Dom Cavanaugh with the interception.
Good job by Cavanaugh. A little bit of the right place at the right time, but playing it smart, watching where the quarterback was rolling out to.
And they're picking. Are they wait?
That flag got picked up. No infraction on the play. 1st and 10 for the Clockers.
They're not going to call the late hit, I
It was
guess.
it was clearly a late hit. I mean, he was down and maybe just doesn't want to walk the 15 yards. It's cold out.
Walking the 15 yards is a good thing, though. Gets the blood flowing.
Yeah, it's a good point. But anyways, the Clockers take over, 21-0, a nice second interception of the game. And a play action pass, and they get him in stride. Down the field to Kevin Russell.
Kevin Russell showing off his wheels and his abilities.
That completion from Brandon Grover to Kevin Russell.
And
for
that
a
was
big
Brandon
first down
Grover.
for the Clockers.
And the Clockers are rushing to the line here.
Wow. That was good for about 42 yards. And they hand off to Eddie Lopez. And no gain.
On the carry for the Clockers, Eddie Lopez. Tackle made by number 9, Noah Canty. Second and 10 for the Clockers at the Raider 35.
What a throw by Grover on that play action. And Kavanaugh's going to keep it after faking out to Braganca. And he's going to get about 12 yards on a first
the
down.
Clockers number 7, Dom Cavanaugh with the keeper.
Looks like he made it down to about the
Tackle made by the
23-yard
Raiders, number 3,
line.
Matt Pialato.
They'll mark it at the 24.
And that is enough for a first down. And the clock is ticking. 3:17 to
Folks,
play
just want to take a
in the
moment here
third
for a
quarter.
big thank you to the Ashland Police and Fire Departments for both helping keep everyone safe at our games and for their support of our teams.
So Kavanaugh, a few yards deep with the snap. He's got Eddie Braganca into block. Passes over to Sickles. Sickles takes it ahead for about 4 or 5 yards. And
Pass complete to the Clockers, Nathan Sickles.
we do have a
but
flag.
There's a flag on the play.
It's against the Clockers, I believe. I didn't see what the signal was. Holding.
The penalty is holding, called against the Clockers.
All right, so that's going to push us back 10 yards, so it'll be 1st and 20. And just makes it a longer touchdown pass. Again, it's Kavanaugh with Braganca taking the handoff, and Eddie Braganca with some nice yardage. Finds the hole, and he gets back about 13 yards on that play.
Just about up to the
Carried by the
20-yard
Clockers, Eddie
line.
Braganza. Tackle made by the Raiders, Alex Thompson.
The running game is working very well for the Clockers tonight. Whether it's the quarterback or the running back,
Second and 13 for the Clockers at the Raiders' 21-yard
very
line.
efficient.
Believe this is this Russell over on our left side here?
We have Kevin Russell down low, and it's another keeper by Kavanaugh. And it's right around the first down marker, about 8 yards.
Clocker carry by number 7, Dom Cavanaugh.
I saw that matchup right there with Kevin Russell on the outside. They only had man coverage on him. So
Right, they like that
I'm wondering-
isolation.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Coach McKay saw that and might use that to his advantage later on here tonight.
Well, as long as they throw it far enough. Last time they did it, it's just a little underthrown, and he's just about a half a yard short of the first down, so it's 3rd and about a half.
I think it's a little bit easier for both Horning
I
and
think-
Kavanaugh
and they're
on
gonna
the
throw.
longer throws.
And a beautiful throw by Kavanaugh to Sickles. Oh, and there's the flag.
Pass complete to the Clockers, Nathan Sickles.
The Dover-Sherborn defender is throwing his hands up like, what did I do? But I mean, it's possible he didn't hear the whistle because it looked like he wasn't out of bounds, but still. When everybody else is standing still, it's probably a good sign that the play is over.
Red Sox 0, Dodgers 0.
That pass to Sickles was good for, I think, 5 yards.
But in the end, it'll
And then it's
become
half the distance, so they'll get another 7 on the penalty.
ball placed at the 4-yard line.
Nicely thrown ball. It's really got that sideline throw down nicely.
Both these
In
quarterbacks.
motion is Brandon Grover. Takes the handoff. Couldn't stretch it out to the corner.
By the Clockers, number 8, Brandon Grover.
And
but
he's
brought
a
down
little
by the
slow getting
Raiders'
up.
Mitch Reinhardt.
And that's good. They'll help him off the field and hydrate a little bit. And he looks fine. See if maybe they'll get him in the game and do a drop kick. He's thrown a pass. He's broken up a couple passes. Has he caught a pass? Yeah, he's caught a pass. Yeah, he's had a couple. Well, he had one catch, and now he's got a run for no yards. What was that?
Yeah, he just got back to the line of scrimmage.
He's now 2nd and goal with 30 seconds to play. The handoff and into the end zone is Brody Asenko.
Walker touchdown score by number 23, Brody Asenko.
Brody the Bull. And it's 27-0. Andre Agostinelli on for the extra point. Perfect on the season. High snap, but handled well and right down the middle.
Agostinelli is good with the extra point.
And it's 28-0 with 22 seconds left in the third quarter. And this game looks well in hand after a little shaky start by the Clockers.
And how long did that drive take?
I don't know. It was they had some big plays though. They
did.
They came down from all started with the Dom Cavanaugh interception, and they went about 75, 78 yards. And the key play was that pass by Brandon Grover to Russell. Or was it Russell?
Yep, that was Russell.
42 yards on that play. Perfect throw. So now they have 3 quarterbacks potentially on the roster. They all throw the ball really well. Cavanaugh, Horning, Grover.
Well, Kavanaugh and Horning, I believe, are both seniors this year.
I think Kavanaugh is a junior.
Is Kavanaugh a junior?
He is a junior, according to the roster.
That's good for the Clockers
Yes.
in the future, especially with this dual quarterback system.
Yeah. Oh, and nice pickup there.
Little dangerous, though.
Yeah. It made it work. That was John Bennett.
That's the Raiders' John Bennett on the return.
Heads up
And
play.
on the tackle, the Clockers' Dom Massaro.
Good field position to start.
1st and 10 for the Raiders.
37-yard line.
37-yard line.
And we have 15 seconds left in the third quarter as Dover-Sherborn takes over on their 37-yard line, trailing 28-0. Kirby Ryan, deep set, looks to pass, throws out to the flat. And there's a flag there. I don't know
Pass complete to the Raiders' Matt Pialato.
if he
On
either
the tackle,
he
the
may have
Clockers'
pushed
Jack
off.
Merrill, but there's a flag on the
Could
play.
be a push-off, or
He
it
was-
could be that the Ashland defender might have had his hands on him past the 5 yards.
It's pretty wide open. Yeah.
Clock is called for offsides. Penalty declined by
Offsides,
the
okay.
Raiders.
Didn't see that. Maybe he's
And that's the end of the third quarter, with the Clockers leading the Raiders 28-0. As we enter the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, please take a moment now to take a look around.
So that ends the
Grab
third
any
quarter,
loose trash
28
you
to
see around
nothing.
you and deposit it in the nearest trash receptacle.
And it looks like this game is well in hand. And depending on what happens tonight, I think the Clockers will be at home next week against the winner of, I believe it's Medway and Norwell. I will check my bracket here. Let's see. So they will play the winner of Medway, who's ranked 3rd, and Norwell, ranked 6th. Norwell's 3-3, Medway 6-1. And if you remember, we played Medway in the opener, which was a non-league game because Medway's in the small. And Ashland was victorious 21-20 and had that big goal line stand on a 2-point conversion attempt at the end of the game. And that's going to sail out of bounds.
Incomplete pass. That'll bring up third down for the Raiders.
And you can't really blame Kirby Ryan. He hasn't had a lot of time to throw.
No, the Ashland defense has been right in his face all game. And now, very quickly, it's third down, about 2 yards to go, but
And it's third down, but I don't know why on the offsides they gained 7 yards. He could have taken 1st and 5 and just taken the penalty. Instead, he went 2nd and 3. Could have had a free down on 2. Oh, and it's deflected, and it is picked off.
they're going to call it
Oh,
not a catch. They're going to say it hit the ground. That would have been the Clockers' 3rd interception of the night.
Incomplete pass.
off the
Almost
hands of
intercepted
Pope
by
by
the Clockers, number
Rashad
25,
Ahmed.
Rashad Ahmed. That'll bring up 4th and 3 for the Raiders.
Best view in the house right now. We're right at the 50-yard line atop the field house at William Kunis Field. Rob Silver, the eye in the sky with Todd Carter. Kirby Ryan back to pass. It's a short pass, and Luke Fielding breaks the tackle.
And they have the wide receivers
Raiders
that
pass
just
completed
break
by
those
number 8,
first
Brandon
tackles.
Grover.
These are guys that you really have to
Correction
go
by
ahead and
number
body
8, Luke
tackle them. You
Fielding.
can't get away with the arm tackles.
Now, Luke Fielding's one of their better players, that's for sure. He's only a junior, and Kirby Ryan, the quarterback's only a junior, so they get some playing time left. And there's a nice pass there to Polk. Brought down by Latessa, kept in
Pass
bounds.
complete to the Raiders, Timothy Polk.
That'll keep the clock running, which
Tackle
is
made by
good
Jake
for us
Latessa.
as we stand here in the sub-freezing weather. It's not that bad, is it?
Not too bad.
No. Nowhere else I'd rather be. But overdoing it a little bit. And
Ashland
a quick pass. Jackson Horning right there on the tackle.
Horning was trying to rip the ball out.
He was.
And Jackson
Refs
Hornick
call it dead.
leading the tackle for the Clockers.
That's
First
enough
down
for a
for the
first
Raiders.
down, and we're under 10 minutes to play here. Clock running. They're running the hurry-up offense there. Kirby Ryan rolls out, and again in the flat, and tackled quickly by the Clockers. It's Brandon Grover again having a
Pass
heck of a
complete to the
game
Raiders,
tonight,
Drew Dummer. Tackle made by Clockers,
and Nate
Brandon
Sickles as
Grover.
well. Kirby Ryan actually has the authority to play call himself. I was reading a little bit about that, so he's obviously comfortable doing it and helps them out when they're time constrained.
And a
Pass
rare
complete,
sight.
intended receiver For the
I didn't
Raiders,
see
Timothy
who it
Polk.
was for the Clockers. It looked like one of the linebackers on a
Leading the
blitz
coverage, number 25 of the
pancaked
Clockers,
one of the
Arshad
offensive
Ahmed.
linemen
I totally
getting
missed
to the
it.
quarterback.
That'll bring up a third down here for the Raiders.
I'd like to thank our crew tonight of Cameron Tabo and Nick the Man Cunningham. Doing an excellent job. So thank you to both of them.
Kirby throws over the middle there to Polk.
Pass complete to the Raiders, Timothy Polk. on the
Clockers getting a little lazy on defense, I have to
Arshad
say.
Ahmed.
They're sitting in their zones a little bit too much, not moving with the guy in their zones.
Yeah, I don't know if the hurry-up offense is not giving them enough time to reset, but they'll give them this all night long, though. You want to take your
Pass
7,
complete to
8
the
yards
Raiders,
and run
Drew
30
Dover.
seconds off the clock. It's fine. All he has to do is make one mistake, and they'll pick it off and take it to the house.
Especially that can be very dangerous.
A low
in
snap
this
there,
area.
and a nice pass, and they're going to get in the end zone. And that's Luke Fielding.
Raider touchdown by number 8, Luke Fielding.
Good job by Kirby to pick up that low snap. Their center's been a little off on their snaps all night. Some of them high, some of them really short, but there's no zip. Makes it kind of tough when you're 4 yards back of the offensive line. So Drew Dummer in for the extra point. And just
The
like
extra
that,
point by number 10, Drew Dummer is good.
it's 28 to
Making the
7.
Score, Clockers 28.
The Dover-Sherborn
7
Raiders get on the
with
board.
8:27 to go.
Well, we've seen crazier things, but like to see how the Clockers respond. If they have a sense of urgency here, still trying to drive down the field while taking some time off the clock, or if they're just going to keep going with the running plays.
I mean, the running plays, I think, are the best way to go. They've been efficient, they've been gaining yards, and they really haven't been able to stop the run, and it keeps the clock running.
Yeah.
And we should be seeing an onside kick here. So we have the hands team in. We have Kevin Russell, Ben College, Dom Cavanaugh, Jake Latessa, and Nate Sickles up front. Behind him is Jackson Horning.
Wide receivers. Everybody's still playing short here.
Nice kick. Yeah. It's a little too hard. And is that Jalen Simpson
Kick
who
recovered by the Clockers
grabbed
number
it
11,
there.
Jalen Simpson.
And the flag was inadvertent. He thought it was going out of bounds, so they're picking it up.
They're going to say that
They thought it was. They thought he touched it after it went out of bounds, but he did grab it and then stepped out. He could have let it go too, and that would have been a safe play.
yeah. Well, there was a
A Raider.
Raider right in the area running towards the ball, so I think it was smarter that he grabbed it because it's still great field position for the Clockers here.
The smartest play
no.
is to just bat it out of.
It looks like they will give it to him at the 50 there. They will
Oh,
apply
was
the
that a
foul.
bound? 5 yards? I thought it was a re-kick. But anyways, a little confusion there. And they're lucky there was no fumble.
Yeah, Jackson Horning was smart. He felt his footing going, hung on to that ball
Carried
for
by the
dear
Clockers,
life.
Jake Latessa for a 3-yard loss. The 2nd and 13
The
at the
Jake
Clocker
Latessa
47-yard line.
jet sweep run has not been effective. And I don't know if that's an execution problem or
He did
not a
have
good-
an injury earlier tonight, too.
right. Just never looked promising. And We do have Jackson, and there's Latessa going in motion again, and they keep it. Jackson keeps it, gets some good yardage. Picks up about 8 or 9 yards there. I'm going to give him 9 because I'm a nice guy like
Jackson
that.
Hornock on the carry, brought down by the Raiders.
Yeah, it's only going to be 3rd and 5 here.
And we got a timeout by
Timeout on the
Dover-Sherborn, trying to conserve
by
the
the
clock.
Raiders.
You never know what can happen.
When
7:26
we
to
come back,
go in the fourth
The
quarter.
Clockers take over at
Well,
the
we've
45.
seen crazier things and more high pressure situations.
Sure. So we have, what is it, 3rd and 5? That was a 20-second timeout. And let's take a look at all our and they throw downfield to Kevin Russell.
Russell being smart there, just
Yeah.
wrap that ball up.
Pass complete to the Clockers, Kevin Russell.
The pickup
Raiders
of
tacklers
12.
led by number 4, Timothy Polk. That's a Clocker.
It's a
first
while
down.
ago now, but remember what I was saying? They kept manning up on Russell. Coach McKay must have seen what I saw.
And another-
Decided to go with that matchup.
We have a
Yeah, he
timeout on
matches
the
up
field
well
called by
pretty
the
much
Raiders.
against everybody. And if you don't have the safety
Well,
over
yeah, you
there,
gotta-
and
you gotta double
like you
team 'em.
said,
for
Series
sure.
is
The
now
isolation.
End of the second inning, still no score.
And just getting I had text messaged our good friend PJ Ferrier. He's not watching tonight. I just gave him the score, and we wish PJ the best. You know he's not doing great, and he'd be here if he could. He was here the first game of the year, and PJ's battling some health issues, and very inspiring for the whole Ashley and Clocker team to have PJ there. As Eddie Braganca gets through the offensive line,
He's
and
still
he's
going.
into the backfield. Is he all the way down there? Get in there, Eddie. Eddie's in there. Eddie Braganca, 31 yards. Relentless.
Some push from his fellow teammates.
Not to be denied. Yeah, what did they carry him the last 3 yards?
Yeah, they did.
That was, wow.
His feet may have not even been on the ground for those last 3.
There's a flag.
Andrea
Probably
Costelli with the
offside.
point after, but a flag on the play.
It
Mr.
is offsides, so the point will be good, 35-7.
Mr.
The
Automatic.
extra point is good. Making the score, Clockers 35, Raiders 7, with 6:54 to go here in this Division 6 playoff battle.
I don't know all of the returning Ashland Clockers, but Jake Silver, like we said, on the sidelines helping with the coaching staff. Saw Trevor DePerrin, graduated last year. He's back to root on his former teammates. And the Ashland Clocker cheerleaders have to do 35 push-ups. Excuse me. Oh, they're doing jumping jacks now. They do push-ups for every point. And
Little more movement in the jumping jacks might be better on a night like tonight.
I think once they get over 14 points, they get to do something other than the push-ups, and a short kick picked up again by the freshman, John Bennett. Hey, saved him 20 yards. This is a nice kick by Gostinelli.
Gain of
Kick
about
return by the
3
Raiders,
after the
John
pickup.
Brought down by Don Massaro.
And Dover-Sherborn takes over, trailing 35-7. 6:46 to go in the fourth quarter.
34-yard line.
with this sizable lead, I think Coach McKay and Coach Zakili will be able to get some of the secondary players in the game, which will be nice. But well, they keep handing it off to, oh, that's number 7, Alex Thompson. That's a new name.
So the Raiders bringing Thompson into the
Pass
fold.
complete to the Raiders, Alex Thompson.
And again, he escaped the first tackle.
The Clockers' Jack Merrill.
That's the play they like to run. Just throw it out there and let your guy. And again, this time it's Pope. And they keep him in bounds.
Their wide receivers know how to keep their legs churning.
And that's number 51,
Pass
Colin
complete to
Dagg,
Timothy Polk.
National Honor Society
Tackler,
member.
Don Massaro.
Oh, Don Massaro. Thought it was a 1. It was a 4, 54. I should have known Don Massaro's been everywhere tonight. Great game. Matt Paolata knocked out of bounds by Jack Merrill.
Raider pass complete to Matt Paolotto.
They're methodically
Tackled by
moving
Jack
down the field.
They're trying to quickly call plays and get something
That's a first
going
down for the
as
Raiders.
time is
The Clocker
rolling
38-yard
down
line.
here at Cunis Field.
33-yard line.
5:55 to go. Pope goes over to talk to Kirby. Maybe he saw something. He's lined up in the slot. Kirby drops back to pass, and it is picked off. It's picked off and still going.
Let's go about the 20.
Blocker interception by number 20, Andre Agostinelli.
Andre Agostinelli getting in there on defense and taking advantage of it. I don't know if the two receivers got their signals crossed, but it looked like they ran into each other, and whoever was supposed to go to the outside couldn't get there. So Andre said, I will take this because I'm sick of kicking extra points and kickoffs. And there's a holding call. Are they calling that a holding penalty before the interception?
Holding penalty on Ashland preceding the interception. The Raiders retain possession.
So that will wipe out all that nice work. And when I watch the replay, maybe they didn't get their signals crossed. Maybe one of the clockers yanked them down. Regardless, Kirby Ryan steps back to pass, and he throws the same way to Poke, and he pushes off and gets it. And we're going to see some offensive pass interference. He clearly pushed off. We'll wait for the call.
Yeah, he's showing that signal of
Yes.
pushing off. OPI. No doubt about it.
The penalty is offensive pass interference called against the Raiders.
So some good coverage there, and that forced the offensive pass interference. And if I can see it from up here, then you know it's offensive pass interference. And that will move them back 15 yards. And it will be 1st and 25. And the ball is in play, and it's to Luke Fielding, and he's brought down by a couple clockers right away. Jalen Simpson.
Raider pass complete to Luke Fielding. Brought down by
And I must
Jalen
say,
Simpson.
I'm proud of the Clockers this game. It's been a chippy one, but they're playing still with some integrity here.
We have another player down, and that looks like another cramp. Dover-Sherborn, that's their workhorse, Luke Fielding.
Yep. He's up, though. He looks
Yeah, she was stretching his.
a little limpy. Might be
It was just a
Might
just a
be his
cramp.
knee.
Nah, it's a cramp. She was kind of stretching out his ankle.
Yeah, it might be a calf cramp.
Yeah, like
It
when
was-
you wake up in the middle of the night and you move too quickly and you get that cramp, and you wish you had a trainer in your bedroom that could just kind of, massage it out, but hey, can't have everything. And he bobbled that one. Is that going to be? Well, it's third down. I don't know if it was complete or not.
Is that what Alex Guerrero does for Tom Brady? Sits in the hallway at night, ready to go in case
Raider pass
Tom gets a
complete to
cramp.
number 10, Drew
Hey.
Dummer.
For the amount of money that he probably makes, I'd do it. And we are 3rd and 17, 4:39 to go. And Kirby again down the sideline, a little overthrown. Good coverage. That'll
Raiders
bring up
incomplete
4th
pass,
down.
The intended receiver, number 4, Timothy Polk.
4th down and about 17. I know it
And
says 17 on the scoreboard, but I think it's 19.
It
Or
feels
18.
longer than 17.
Yeah.
They're at the 31, and they need to get down to about the 13-yard line.
I just got attacked by a moth. That is, that's the hazard you have when you are working outside. People at home don't understand what we have to put up with,
We're putting it all on the line here.
right? And a low snap again, and he goes deep, and he has it behind the defender, and it's picked off, though, by the safety.
Clockers with their 3rd interception of the night.
Walker interception by number 20.
And he gets it
Andre
again.
Agostinelli.
This time it's going to stick. Andre Agostinelli.
5 extra points made and an interception on the night.
And almost, it wouldn't have been a second interception had the first one counted. And a National Honor Society appointment last night. Is there anything this gentleman cannot do? Brandon Grover doing everything and National Honor Society. And that's what the Clockers are all about. Athletics and education, and they raise some fine young men. And actually,
Do a great
Coach
job.
McKay really does, put a lot of pride into that they're good kids.
Yep, they can't. It's not enough that these boys are strong on the
Nope.
football field.
We got a flag.
You need to be good in the academics as well.
I think they had too many men in the huddle. And he's waving off the flag. Okay. And the clock says 4:20. That's 4:20 to go. And into the game with the carry is number 37. We're going to see some new names, so we're going to look that up. And that is Liam
Walker
Murphy.
carry by number 37, Liam Murphy.
As we get to see some of these normally JV players and underclassmen get some playing time with a 35-7 lead in the opening round of the Division VI South playoffs with your Ashland Clockers rolling over the Dover-Sherborn Raiders.
35-7 is the score.
And there's another handoff to, see if I can get a number there, and it's
Walker carry by
Murphy
number
again.
37, Liam Murphy.
I believe Dover-Sherborn is out of
Third
timeouts
down
at this
for the
point.
Clockers.
Even if they weren't, I don't think they'd use them. There's no need. I don't think they're going to make up 28 points, but this was a big game for the Clockers. They lost to Dover-Sherborn last year 10-6 in a game that they thought was going to be an easy win and ended up costing them a playoff bid. So when they saw Dover-Sherborn on the schedule, I'm sure their eyes lit up and they weren't going to take them lightly again. And they hand it off to number 34,
Clocker carried by
Griffin
number
Frink.
34, Griffin Frink, brought down by the Raiders' number 8, Luke Fielding.
And Todd, if you could tell me how to do you know how to spell Griffin? I will buy you a coffee next time if you can tell me how to spell Griffin.
That gentleman's last name?
No,
Or
I'm not
Griffin
asking.
in general?
Griffin is this particular Griffin.
This particular Griffin?
Frank is easy, F-R-I-N-K, but Griffin,
Well, yeah.
I don't want you looking at.
No, that's the tricky part. Is it
It's not. Oh, and we call it timeout.
I'm almost a little afraid that it's going to be Griphin or something. Something very strange.
You were very far from even close. Any of the viewers at home want to take a guess? Besides Griffin's mom. Oh no, Griffin's mom would be at the game, but she may be watching as well.
I mean, I'm usually Griffin. I would imagine is Griffin.
Right, and I'm not a Harry Potter person, but I think wasn't there a school as they they punt? Nice punt there, and that's a live ball. But Carlotta and some great pursuit there, but he avoids a tackle, and Tomasaro again.
Kick returned by the Raiders, Matt Palotto.
That was a
Tackled
great
by
punt.
Dover-Sherborn.
Definitely underestimated the power.
So wasn't there one of the? You strike me as a Harry Potter person.
I do know. quite a
Was
bit.
there a home, one of the halls, or what did they have? Like
Yeah, one of the
what were they called?
one of the. I always forget what to
What did they call 'em?
consider, but it's like
Was
a
a house?
faction.
A
Yeah,
fa-
the
okay, a
house,
house.
the house,
So
house of
wasn't 'em-
Gryffindor.
And how did they spell that?
Griffindor.
Really?
Indor.
I thought it was like it's Gryffin.
Oh wow!
And I'm not a Harry Potter person, but I thought that's.
I was
how it
trying to
spelled.
go. When you asked me that, I'm preparing myself for
sure?
something out of the ordinary. That's why I had to throw the PH
I think
in there.
that Gryffindor
The Clocker 42.
it was spelled with a Y. If J.K. Rowling is listening on the live broadcast, could she please, because I don't want to, clarify the spelling for us. Anyways, Kirby Ryan back to pass in the flat, and it's complete, I hope.
Yeah, that looks complete.
Keep the clock running.
Raiders
And
pass
no.
complete to number 10, Drew Dummer.
Well, the clock is stopped, so it's either incomplete or the.
Yep, they're gonna call it incomplete. They're gonna say it hit the ground first.
I
I don't know if I totally agree with that. I could have sworn that he caught it before.
It's 3rd and 10. Let's see if some of these Ashland Clockers that are getting some playing time in the defense can make a play. Deep throw to Polk.
Raider pass incomplete, intended for
Polk may have
receiver
heard
number 4, Timothy
the
Polk.
footsteps of the safety. Seemed a little timid toward the end there.
The Clocker 42.
Yeah, that was.
He was running fast enough to get under the ball, but
That was a beat amid. And again, the Dover-Sherborn team has had 38 players at the start of the season, many of them freshmen. And they don't even have reserves really they can bring in at this point, so they're just trying to play it out with the players that they have.
Pass incomplete to the intended
And that was
receiver,
4th down.
number 10,
That's
Drew
going to
Dummer.
turn it over.
And the Clockers will take over on down.
so we had some
First and 10
responses
at their own
for
42.
Griffin.
Yeah. Oh, Merloni's, Kristen Merloni and Trevor Quayle, they've probably seen the roster before. Good thing I didn't promise them a coffee. But thank you for viewing. Who else was viewing there?
We have currently
Give a
about
shout-out.
24 viewers. I don't know if we can see specifically
Oh, they have
who's
to
watching.
comment, right? just going to text a quick score to PJ, 35-7.
Oh, it is. I stand corrected. It is Gryffindor with a Y.
Yeah, I just kind of remember seeing that. I used to win all the spelling bees when I was in elementary school.
I was not a spelling bee kid. the Clockers in front of us are already lining up, getting ready for the end of the game handshakes.
We got 42 seconds on the countdown.
And one thing that these fans should see is Dover-Sherborn definitely did put up a fight tonight. They pale in comparison to the numbers of the Clockers. You can see their sideline versus ours. Just a few kids over there versus a behemoth of a Clockers team.
Yeah. But they're trying to get the program going, and we'll hear from them again, that's for sure. Maybe we'll see them in the playoffs next year. But
I'm Josh Abrams saying
that's
you very
it.
much. Your final score tonight, Clockers 35, Raiders
35-7. And I'm just going to take a look at a couple of stats we had.
As the football team goes for the next round of the playoffs.
First stat I'm going to point out,
Enjoy
5
the weekend
penalties.
and drive safely, everybody.
Maybe more for Ashland, unfortunately. But that's the bad part. The highlights, we had Kevin
Will
Russell
Chase Abrams
with
please report
3 receptions,
press box.
maybe more,
Chase Abrams.
but this is what I have, 60 yards. We had touchdowns by Brody had a couple touchdowns. Eddie
Will
Braganca,
Andrew Clay
I think, had a
please
couple
report to the press
touchdowns.
box?
And Eddie
Andrew
Lopez.
Clay and Chase Abrams to the press box, please.
And yards passing. Kavanaugh didn't have a lot of yards passing, but they were efficient with 1 touchdown pass, 4 of 5. And Jackson Horning, 4 of 6, 1 interception. Andre Agostinelli, 5 for 5 extra points and
An interception, of course, playing the safety position. And Rob, any player of the game you'd like to give it to?
That's a great idea.
There are a couple of really good options here. Agostinelli being one of them for sure tonight. Mr. Automatic. Braganca and Asenko would be 2 really good options, but you can't forget about Eddie Lopez with some of that breakaway speed. He had a touchdown.
You know, I'm gonna say Eddie Lopez with that 65-yard run. It was not an easy play. He just the speed.
And he showed some flashes tonight in other plays. Just, one of those things where if he just broke that corner, he was gone.
Play of the game, we'll say Eddie Lopez.
Yep.
And second play of the game would be the Brandon Grover pass to Kevin Russell. That was a big plays. But, yeah, Brody Asenko is just always so solid. And I can't. It was a great team win. There was no one standout because you had Eddie Braganca who took it down the 31 yards and pushed through 10 people to get in the end zone at the end. So great job, and it's a good primer for next week's game because they started off a little shaky, but I think next week they'll come out a lot more focused when they play the winner of that.
I think after that Holliston game may have surprised this. Before the Holliston game, this team was 6-0. That game might have shaken them up a little bit.
I agree.
And this was a good game. They got to shake the cobwebs out and get back to their style of football.
Exactly. So that about does it here. As we're going to sign off, it's Todd Carter and myself, Rob Silver, the eye in the sky.
Yep.
Saying thank you for listening in to Clocker Football on WACA-TV.
And just before we go, I'd like to say thank you to our cameramen tonight from WACA-TV, Nick the Man Cunningham and Cameron Tabo. And Rob, take it away.
That's it. Have a good night, and we'll be back next week. Clocker out.